Raghu Markus is the founder of the Mind Rolling podcast, and he's also the executive director of the Love Serve Remember Foundation. He's a very close and personal friend with the world-renowned spiritual teacher Ram Dass, and in this interview we have a beautiful discussion about what it was like to be so close to a highly revered spiritual teacher like Ram Dass. So if you would like to see more interviews like this one, then click the link right below me now to subscribe to Meditation Magazine.
Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba's teaching to us and to him was, there was a few of them. I mean, he didn't talk, he didn't give talks, he didn't write books or anything. He would say things, Ram Dass, love everyone and tell the truth, And Ram Dass, that's what happened. He embodied that more and more after his stroke.
Love everyone and tell the truth.
Yeah.
It's
not easy, right?
Yeah, it's a practice.
Yeah, well, and Ram Dass said at the time when he said that, I was like, Maharaji, I can't love, I don't love everybody, and I certainly can't tell them the truth, but he understood eventually. Maharaji was talking to the soul inside, behind the mini me, and that soul could tell the truth and could love everyone, and that's what happened with Ram Dass after, in a major way after the stroke.
Wow. So to me, love everyone is a pretty clear instruction. It's, there's, people think about love in different ways. Like some people think of it like love, the word meaning romantic love, and some people think of it meaning, liking certain things about the person very much. But to me, love is something sort of unconditional. I guess it's really just semantics, but to me, love is an unconditional thing that you can just it's an action. You can love people whether or not you like certain attributes about them. It doesn't matter. The love is something that you can do. It's an action, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, the love is a little bit of a more clear instruction. I don't really understand the tell the truth instruction, because there's so many different truths that you can tell, so many different things that you could say to a person. What do you think he meant by that? Tell the truth.
No, I don't think it's complex. Tell the truth. When you're not telling the truth to somebody. Okay, period. And it's manipulation and it's motivation to get what we want, right? We're bending it. We're, little white lie, whatever. Yeah, no, it's simple, direct. Tell the truth. Stop fucking around with people, in terms of trying to get what you want by not telling the truth.
There's sort of like that radical honesty thing. That's been sort of in the, there's this sort of radical honesty movement that happened, I don't know, recently. Something like that where you just really, no matter what it is, even if it's something that maybe is going to be painful to the other person to hear, or something that is going to go against your own interests, obviously, things, just anything that you want to communicate.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's why mindfulness practice is great. And Ram Dass taught it when he first came back from India. He called it just using the non-judgmental witness from the heart space, not the ego head. So mindfulness is great, and you realize what you see your motivations very clearly. Now sometimes it's not like you go tell somebody who's overweight, say, hey, you're really overweight, you ought to do something. That's just crack, nutball shit that the people, and they do it just, it's not, it can be offensive. It's people, I mean, that's just a gross example, but there's a lot of more subtle examples of people saying one thing to, oh, I'm going to tell you my truth here, and it's deprecate, it's not needed. So there's a discriminating wisdom involved here. And that's why, again, looking at your perspective and working on yourself through mindfulness, and not the bullshit mindfulness that makes you a better stockbroker, but I mean the one and I'll tell you, your audience, Joseph Goldstein wrote a book called Mindfulness that is extraordinary. And please go get that book, and you can really understand what that practice is and how to use it in your life in a way that's going to be a gigantic improvement. All right. I mean, and in fact, just to give my own little promo, I have a podcast called Mind Rolling on the Be Here Now Network. You go to BeHereNowNetwork.com. And I just did something with Joseph Goldstein around loss and grief and how to deal with anxiety and fear. I mean, he is so clear coming from that place. So, you know, yeah, it's not cut. Everything isn't like cut. Well, tell the truth, and you go spewing off stuff to everybody that you can have in front of you, because now you're going to be a radical truth. It's much more subtle than that, and you got to just feel it in terms of what you are doing with, you know, the Buddhist, you know, the Eightfold Path. The right speech is very important, and that's tied into telling the truth. I want to go back to what we were talking about, love, right? You know, and the love that we're talking about, as you said, it's not romantic love. It's not a love that, you know, I love you, you better love me back kind of thing, you know. It is unconditional, and it's not something that happens just like that. I mean, it's a lifetime of work to get there. It's, you know, Ram Dass to a great degree did get there. I mean, but I just saw something I thought I'd share with you around this, and it's from the 17th Karmapa. So 17th Karmapa is one of the highest lamas, reincarnate lamas, and close to the Dalai Lama. And he said, I have observed a strange idea of love that many people seem to have. They see love as a kind of gift that has to be given back. Someone says, I love you. And if the other person does not reply with an I love you too, the first person gets upset. But love doesn't always have to be reciprocated. We can just love. If love doesn't come back to you, it is still love that you give and that you feel. We do not always have to look to get something back for what we give, do we? Right? I just love, I mean, he's fantastic, by the way. He's like 33 years old or something. Anybody ever gets a chance to see him, he's extraordinary. Honest and real, and he's really great for next generation. He's all about the environment. He's about women's rights. He's fantastic. Anyhow, a little diversion there to the 17th Karmapa.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, pure love. And when you talk about Maharaji being sort of in that pure love and that oneness, non-duality all the time,
yeah.
It sort of blows my mind, because I guess I never met anybody that's fully like that. Did you ever meet Maharaji? Is he would you say he's like the only person that you met that was like that?
Yeah, no, as I said earlier, when I met Ram Dass, I got him to get me hooked up, and I went to India. I followed Ram Dass to India after he went back the second time, as did a number of other people like Krishna Das, and we met him. And we met him over a 3-year period. Some of us spent shorter, longer. I was there for a year and a half. Yeah. Did I ever meet anyone else like that?
Yeah.
16th Karmapa.
Oh, wow.
The predecessor of this, who I just read this thing of the 17th, his predecessor I met in LA not long before he died, but he gave what was called the Black Hat ceremony. And I tell this story many times, but when he was seeing everybody would come up and pass by him, and he put a silk scarf. Yeah, you had a silk scarf, and he put it on you and all, you know, part of the ceremonial thing. When I got, I don't know, 10 feet away from him, and I was standing in line, I felt his vibration. I went, oh my God, this is Neem Karoli Baba. It was the same thing. Wow. And, you know, and I've since then, of course, I spend a lot of time with his teachings and so on. And I have friends like Lama Surya Das who studied with him. So yeah, Ananda Mahima, you know, that was also somebody, a great saint, a women saint in India. Um, yeah, not many. They do, you know, there for every, you know, 1,000 saints, there's like 5 siddhas. And the siddhas are the beings that are able to stay in a body, yet they are not living in duality.
Wow.
Apparently, that's not something anybody can do. They're just here for everyone else. They don't give talks. They don't write books. You know, they just hang out. And that's all he did. He hung out on this bed, the tucket, we called it, and with a bunch of, you know, 20-year-old hippies.
Yeah.
Okay, why the hell did that happen? I don't know, but look at what's happened since then, since Ram Dass came back, and Krishnadas, and all of us. You know, there's people like Larry Brilliant, who helped cure smallpox that's in the early 70s. You know, Danny Goleman, who wrote this beautiful book called Emotional Intelligence that everyone should read. Krishnadas, you know, and what I'm doing, and the podcast net, you know, all of this stuff. So these little hippies, I guess he had something in mind for them.